What's up, fantasy football junkies? Jeff and Jesse here on testosteronesports.com. It's great to be back. It's been a while since we've cut some new video here for you on the website. Jeff, fantasy football season is getting close at hand. It's less than 2 months before training camps open up, so we're here to drop knowledge today.
Yeah, that's right. The NFL offseason isn't very long anymore. If you take a look at all the events that shake down during the 6 or so months after the NFL season happens, the draft has taken place now, and so there's been a big ripple effect that's gone through the entire league. New coaches on different teams, which is something we discussed the last time we were here. Now there's a bunch of new players on different teams. Some players going to jail, some players getting out of jail. And so it's going to be a very, very interesting 2009 season. And with training camps set to open in 8 short weeks, there's a lot to talk about, Jesse.
Yeah, absolutely. With this segment, we've decided we're going to spend the bulk of it talking about the rookie running back class. Last year in 2008, rookie running backs made big waves in the NFL. And of course, fantasy owners won titles on the backs of guys like Matt Forte, Chris Johnson, and Steve Slayton. So we've dissected this class of rookie running backs here. We're going to talk about some of these guys right now. And Jeff, the class starts with the guy who was taken by the Denver Broncos early in the draft, I believe pick number 11, Knowshon Moreno from Georgia. Break his game down.
I really like Knowshon Moreno going to the Denver Broncos. I'm really interested to see what head coach Josh McDaniels does. This is his first chance as a head coach. I don't know what his running game is going to look like because when he came from the Patriots, they didn't run the ball a whole lot. They were effective when they needed to be, but now Knowshon steps in. He's got Carell Buckhalter and Lamont Jordan there. I love him on a long-term level. Uncertain about his potential this year.
One thing that's unique about him right now is that they have released J.J. Arrington, and so that shows a tremendous amount of confidence in Knowshon Moreno, both as a blocker and as a receiver. I think he's going to get third down duties right away in the offense. And Jeff, let's face it, this team has traded Jay Cutler in the offseason. Knowshon Moreno is now their franchise player. His picture is going to be on all the billboards. All the people in the stands are going to be wearing 27 jerseys. I love Knowshon Moreno in dynasty leagues. He's a guy you want to get. He's the kind of player who could be taken next year in the draft in your fantasy first round or second round. He's that talented.
Yeah, definitely.
Chris Wells up next from Ohio State. He lands in an optimum place out in the desert in Arizona, where the Cardinals last year were one of the worst rushing teams in the league. What's it mean to get Beanie?
Yeah, well, he's a highly talented player coming out of Ohio State. I think he's going to do really, really well for this team in Arizona. I really like them to compete well in the division once again. And what's nice for Beanie Wells is he's got those 2 great receivers on the outside that should open things up. Right. He's never going to see an 8 and 9 man box. It's always going to be 6 or 7 guys. So I really like his potential this season, and I think he'll be the top running back rookie producer.
Most people think he will be, Jeff, but he was the 3rd running back taken in the draft. The second was a guy out of Connecticut, Donald Brown, last year's the nation's leading rusher. He lands in a pretty good spot, although he will be behind Joseph Adai in Indianapolis. Does this mean bad things for Joseph Adai? Donald Brown now breathing down his coattails.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I personally think that Joseph Adai is probably the most injury-prone running back in the NFL. He's shown it now consistently that he can't seem to stay healthy and carry the full load or be a feature type of player because the wear and tear of the league breaks him down.
Right. Enter
Donald Brown, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, pretty much just as fast, and a great personality. So I think these 2 kids are going to tandem the approach for a while until Joseph Adai moves on from his rookie deal. The Colts, look, they're great at taking sleeper players in the draft. They did it a couple years. People cried foul when at the end of the first round they took Dwight Freeney. They're doing it again here with Donald Brown, and I think they'll score.
So that's really the top tier of rookie running backs. In the next tier, we've got 3 names to throw out. LaShawn McCoy, who lands with the Eagles. He's going to start off his career as Brian Westbrook's backup and an heir apparent, has a very similar skill set to Brian Westbrook. Glenn Coffey, who's a little bit bigger, more of a grinder, playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Shouldn't cut into Frank Gore's totals too much. But the real question here is rookie Sean Green. Jeff and I have went back and forth on this. He lands with the Jets. They traded up to get him. I know you don't think big things from him. You still like Thomas Jones in the Jets backfield.
Yeah, for right now, I just think that with most of these running backs, especially a guy who is in the later part of the, third, well, he was in the early 3rd round, but, not a first-round talent.
First pick of the 3rd round.
So, I think that it's the kind of thing where defensive schemes are really tough in the NFL, and I think that he could have a hard time picking up the blocking, just like Chris Wells and Knowshon Moreno and Donald Brown all will do also. So you're not going to be able to trust him quite as much. And with Thomas Jones and Leon Washington also there in that backfield, I just think that the carries won't be that plentiful for young Sean Green. I do love him on a long-term level, though.
Well, we're breaking down the rookie running backs for you here on TestosteroneSports.com. We thank you for tuning in, because if you want to win,
you must tune in
to TestosteroneSports.com. We'll be back right after this.